All right. Hello, everyone. So, I am so excited to hop on here today and to share time with my beautiful friend Jessy, who is a amazing entrepreneur. She is a mom. She has a really powerful, amazing healing business that she does, and I'll let her tell you a little bit about that. And I have had the honor of working with her for the past year plus, and the transformation and just the entire part of her journey that I've gotten to witness and be part of is really fun and exciting. So I wanted to share that with you today. If you are just getting to know me, my name is Kelly Liphart. I am a mindset and manifestation coach, and I have a passion in helping women to level up in their businesses, level up in their lives, and really just start living the life that they've always dreamed of living and just held themselves back from. So, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop in, and I'm just going to start asking Jessy a few different questions. So, first off, let's start with what was your life and business like before we started working together? And you can just kind of give an intro of who you are and what you do now.
Yeah. So now I have a practice. I'm an emotion code practitioner. And so I am helping women go from people pleasing to a place of peace in their lives. When I first met you, I was in a completely different place. I was selling a different product and not and no, I shouldn't, I was going to say no thought of having like my own business. It was always a thought, but it was not the path that I was forging down. And so I've come a very far way in my business and in my personal life since we first have met. But before I was just feeling very hopeless and stuck, and I knew that there was something wrong and I knew that the problem was me, but I didn't know how or what to do about that.
Yeah. And just your journey as it's unfolded has been like just seeing you, your energy, like you just is so different from when we first met. So going from feeling very stuck and knowing that you wanted something different, and knowing that you were the centerpiece of that, and not knowing what to do about it. So what is your life and business like now that we have worked together?
Yeah, so it gave me the space to be bold and brave enough to actually start my own thing and be open to the intuition that was telling me that there was something different for me and to go down that path. And I'm able to now have a lot more awareness. I still am the problem. There still are times where I'm dealing with the thoughts and the mindset, and I know that shifts need to be made. But the difference is now that there's space, so I can catch myself and I can kind of look at it from an outside view and be like, all right, you are going into your limiting beliefs. You are choosing. It's almost like an obstinate child where it's like, I know that this is not good for me, but I'm choosing to go down that path. And some days I still do go down that path, but at least I have that awareness and I can bounce back from the spiraling so much faster. And I have tools now when I do go into that place to help me come out of that place, and more often to stay out of that place to begin with.
Yeah. So first is that like awareness, like, oh, yep, this is that old path I used to go on that took me where I didn't want to go and where you would hang out and everything. Because oftentimes we go off in that space or that path and don't even realize it, right? Like it's just automatic, it's habitual, it's what we've always done, and it's what we just continue to do.
Yeah.
So now, like you have that awareness and you have created a different space that you are stepping and creating and going into. And so now you can recognize the difference, right? Between where you don't want to be, and you can notice and do the course correct pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Where you get to burrow down into that old space. Yep. Awesome. So what was it like to work with we? What was your experience of that?
So I will say I was the client who could not show up for the early morning meetings. I always wanted to be. I'd really hoped that that would be an outcome change. Like I was like, by the end of this, I'm going to be the 5 a.m. miracle morning person. I am not to this day, but I'm also really okay with that. And in being guided through the acceptance of it, I actually have been naturally waking up earlier, still not 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., but I wake up earlier now because I'm just okay with that. And it gave me space to be okay with that. And so I liked having the option though to know that you would be there, like you were always constant. So it was a really good kind of like a role model thing of like knowing like, yeah, I might have overslept today, but like Kelly was there. There was always the chat to go into, which I appreciated. What I really loved the most were the trainings that we would do throughout the day. I still remember, I would go to the park with my toddler, and on the way back home is when I would time it so I was on the call in the car, and those were just really powerful calls for me. And you were just really there through some really terrible times in my life, and it was nice to know that I had someone to go to. I had friends that I could talk to. My family didn't feel very supportive to me in the moment because they wanted to support me, but they weren't able to offer the support that I needed at that time. And you kind of had that outside perspective, and you were also going down the path that I wanted to go to. So it's like it wasn't a therapist, but it was someone that I had access to a lot more frequently, that I could say like, I am in the dumps right now and I don't know what to do about it. And by the end of the call, I would have reframed those thoughts and feel more prepared to go back and face what I was facing. And so it kept me moving forward in a time where most people thought that I should not be moving forward. And people were very confused and concerned and shocked that I wasn't in a different space. Like they thought that I should be in a much lower vibration, in a much deeper, darker space than I was.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and those calls and the time that we got to spend one-on-one was so powerful, right?
Yeah.
Because we got to really dig into and it was a safe space for you to bring like how you were feeling, what was going on, and where you typically would go, and then we could reframe it, like you said, and bring it back to like, okay, where do we want to go? What would we love? Where are we going instead of that? Because those habits, those beliefs, those behaviors are not going to get you ultimately to where you want to go, right? Yeah. So what would you say to someone who is thinking about working with me in one of my programs or one-on-one?
Yeah, I would say if you're getting that nudge that you should do it, that you need to follow that and trust it really deeply. My ex-spouse who I was with at the time, still to this day, will say working with you was the stupidest decision I ever made. It's so dumb. What a waste of money. And it was really hard to hear that over and over. And it still is obnoxious to hear it. But I knew what I needed, and that had to be louder than his doubt, my fear of the investment, and all of those other things. I knew deep down that there was a reason that you showed up. Because I don't remember how we even like got into each other's orbit. I don't know. But if you're looking at Kelly's content and you're seeing it and there's something inside of you that keeps drawing you to it, you need to trust that that's there for a reason, and believe that you're going to get what you need to get out of it, because it is a truly wonderful experience. The lives that you do, the free webinars that you do, so much value, but being able to work with you one-on-one and being able to have your attention on my problem specifically and just what I have going on specifically was where there was like the real change for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and your confidence I mean, you're beautiful soul when I met you, but like your confidence and your ability to like stand up and stand firm and who you were and what your beliefs are and where you want to go has like completely transformed.
Yeah.
Right. Like I see a completely different woman sitting in front of me right now than when we first met. And the great thing is like you have these tools and you have access to me, that's never going away.
Yeah.
But you have these tools, and like when that awareness comes up that something is going back, and or you're starting to reach back into an old pattern or something that wasn't serving and that you don't want to go to, you now know that you have the tools to be able to get that turned around really quickly and go where you want to go.
Yeah.
So
And those tools are available to people, right? Like people could come across the program in other ways, but it was so much different having you there to guide me, because that's really what I needed. I could watch the videos all day long, I could read the things, I could do the work, but it really, really needed you for accountability and for just the embodiment factor of it. I'm the type of person that I need someone to say, like, I lay it all out, and then you kind of help me connect the dots of like, well, this is what was being said, and this is what it means, like what it looks like in real life and what it means for you.
Yeah, that's where the power is.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hear that. So what's possible for you now that we have worked together? Like, tell me a little bit about like your story and what you're creating, what you're stepping into, and what you're moving into now.
Yeah. Like, everything's possible at this point, really. I mean, I do feel like working with you was a big shift, right before a massive shift in my life. And I really needed you to be there to walk that path with me. I think that path would have gone very differently if I had not been in this program. So sometimes I'm like, the purpose of me signing up was less for the program and more for just being in that space of receiving and being open to a different option. And I still had to show up. I still had to keep doing the work through that. But now it's an understanding about how things work. I learned the universal laws now, and I learned about manifesting and what that really means. I mean, it's a cute quote on Instagram, but it really is the way that the world works. And so understanding that as cause and effect, and how I affect and am the cause, has just shifted the entire, it's like putting on a completely different set of glasses that I see the world now. So no matter what I'm doing, relationships, as a mom, as a business owner, it's completely shifted how I show up in every single way. It's forever changed the way that I view things. I can never go back to that version of me that doesn't realize, like, I have the power to change this. And if I'm upset about something or don't like something, then I need to be looking at me more than anything else. Some days I wish I could go back to that place of ignorance, because it's a little bit of a hard truth sometimes. But now everything is possible because I know my place in my life and I know what to do about it.
Yeah, that's so powerful. You get to be the hero. You get to like claim the responsibility and be like, okay, I don't like what's going on around me. I get to be the one to change it and to decide what's happening next.
Yeah,
right?
because that was my biggest thing, right? Like, we identified very early on, like, I played the victim role. And that's something I'm still working on, but it has shifted so drastically in the last year from that feeling that I had to be the victim in order to get what I wanted. I needed someone to pity me. I needed someone to support me. I needed people to acknowledge me. And while sometimes those old patterns come up and that would feel good, I think in the moment, I don't need that anymore. And I actually feel how disempowering that is. And so coming out of that victim mindset, for people that get stuck in that, it feels so scary. And that was probably the one thing that I worked on the entire time I was going through the program, was that one thing, because that was the biggest barrier for me, the biggest thing that was holding me back. And so being able to break through that changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and being able to have that person to like reflect back to you, because we don't recognize like where our blocks are when we're in them, right? We need someone from the outside to be like, here's this pattern again, and do you recognize like that this is comfortable but not necessarily healthy for where you want to go, right? Yeah. So yeah, I love how like you've brought the piece of, I mean, life happens. Life is always messy, right? We can't control what's going on outside of us. I mean, we can when we go inside,
Right.
but before we recognize and we learn how to do that. And oftentimes we go out and we try and fix the outside. We're doing like patchwork everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're spinning all the plates trying to keep everything together as it's falling apart, right?
Yeah.
Whereas through this work and through our time together, like you have now tapped into that like power within you that's like, oh no, I get to step back and take my hands off the walls, and this is going to play out the way it plays out, but I get to decide what happens next. And
Right.
I get to decide and have control of how I respond to this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and like you are creating such a beautiful future for you, for your clients, for your son, for everything that is happening. Right.
Yeah.
And you're doing it so confidently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am just blown away by this beautiful woman being that's sitting in front of me that's like just strong in her power. She's rooted. She's not like that victim is not holding over her anymore.
Yeah. Well, and I'm safe now. Like, I'm safe to go inside. It wasn't safe to go inside before. So I needed someone on the outside to be my safety. I needed someone on the outside to be XYZ for me. And now we kind of peeled all that back, and some of it was taken from me, but that was also a blessing. And now I'm okay. I'm okay being just me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so beautiful. So for any of you that are watching, are seeing this on the replay, like if you find yourself to be in a space where you feel stuck, you feel like there's something more, but you don't know how to get there. You feel like there's things going on in your life, but you know that the change needs to happen in you, but you don't know how. I just want to encourage you to reach out. Like it doesn't cost anything to have a call with me and to, just have a conversation where you are, where you want to go. And then I can help highlight, like we can find what those blocks are. And then you decide what you want to do with those, right? But it's finding out what those challenging parts are, because we then are able to move beyond and be able to fix them, work on them ourselves, or work on them with someone, right? And I know that having a mentor to actually help guide you through the process helps the transformation to happen a lot faster than trying to do it all on our own, right?
And to stick.
Yeah, because oftentimes we will do something, but we won't be accountable to ourselves, right? How many times have we tried to change something, you change it for a couple days, and then you're right back to where you started without that outside person holding your hand and saying, hey, did you notice this, and this, right? Where we don't want to go back into that habit anymore. So if you find yourself in that space and this has connected with you, you've had any ahas or yes, me too's in this experience with Jessy, then book a call. I will put I'll put the link in the comments, and let's get you connected with your power and start living that life that you have always dreamed of, or maybe that you want to start dreaming of. So, and I'm also going to put all of Jessy's information into the comments, because she is an amazing emotion code practitioner. And if you don't know what that is, you definitely need to go check out her reels, check out her TikToks, check out her Instagram, because she has got so much to pour into you, and she's really good at what she's done. I have received sessions from her and like completely shifted my energy and feel able to pursue different things very, very quickly after our sessions. So definitely check out her work as well.
Thank you so much. This was great to it's been fun to really sit down and recap. Like I have the thoughts and I feel it, feeling differently, but it's been really fun to go back down the journey.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for saying yes and for showing up today.
Yeah.
And as I always say to everybody, expect abundance, and you and I will catch up soon. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.